Hello and welcome to the reflections for Friday. I want to actually take you back to Tuesday, which was a momentous day. There were a few things happening, like Rishi Sunak became the Prime Minister. There was a partial solar eclipse. It was the 607th anniversary of Henry V defeating the French at the Battle of Agincourt. Of course, we all were celebrating that, weren't we? It was the birthday of Georges Bizet and Johann Strauss and Schumann, and perhaps you were celebrating that as well. I was celebrating the fact that it was the last payment on my car. I bought the car 4 years ago on interest-free credit, and this was the final payment, and I'm debt-free. Yes! It might seem small beer, really, to some of you who've paid off a mortgage over 25 years. I've not had the chance to do that. But it was a significant day for me. And I drove ever so carefully now that I own the car. I wonder what it means for those who really do have issues about debt, for their debts to be wiped away, for the last payment to be due. My son-in-law Ben works for Christians Against Poverty, and that's really what they're about. Helping and supporting and journeying with people as they try to help them organise their finances, and in the end to negotiate with the big companies that they owe money to for reduced payments, and then eventually the last payment is made. And in the headquarters of the charity in Bradford, whenever that happens, they ring a bell, because it's a time of great celebration. I fear that as we go through this winter, there will be lots and lots of people struggling financially. And I want to perhaps reflect a little on the fact that Tuesday was also the saint day of Dorcas, also known as Tabitha. You may remember this story. Tabitha lived in the port city of Joppa, and Acts chapter 9 describes her as being known for her good works and her acts of mercy. She sewed clothes for the poor. And when she died, the widows of her community were really upset, and they sent urgently for Peter, who was in nearby Lydda, and as an example of the grace that had been given to Peter because of his discipleship. According to the biblical account, he raised her from the dead. Well, we may not be able to do that for all the people who support the poor at this time, but we can do some things, and I'm really proud of those churches that are tackling proactively the call for setting up warm spaces, warm hubs, warm welcomes, whatever we call it, and for Clive's work to sort of urge us on with that. You know, it's one thing to think charitably. It's one thing to organise our finances to be generous in our charitable giving, though maybe there's a challenge there for each of us as well. But there's another thing to actually expand our valuable and precious time in giving ourselves to the support of others who are perhaps struggling. So I encourage you, if you are part of it, well done. If you're not yet part of the planning for a warm hub, then why not consider it? Giving up perhaps a morning occasionally to be able to offer something to those who perhaps have turned their back on church, might now get a second chance. May God bless us in all our attempts to enable people to know the freedom from debt that I've experienced on Tuesday. God bless.